In this repair video, we're going to be working on the Xbox Series X game console that came in for no signal. Customer said that there's possibly a problem with the HDMI connector. Big Boss already disassembled the board, and let's take a look at the HDMI connector to see if there's anything obvious there. I mean, this is a new console, and people wonder. It's already in for repair. Look at this. Look at this. Damaged HDMI connector. I mean, how did that connector go bad? You can ask the 50+ customers that mailed over their PS5s here for exactly the same issue. How did that connector go bad? Probably bad cable, or kids shoved something to that connector, because you cannot damage an HDMI socket unless there's a problem with the cable itself. Maybe the cable was forced in the wrong way. Who knows? But right now we know that we have a damaged HDMI connector, and this connector looks like just any other HDMI socket. But the only difference is this is not the same connector as the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X. Why they keep changing those ports, I do not know. We have a couple of those ports in stock, and we have a large shipment coming in probably later this week, and those ports will be posted on our website. You can buy them from there for those who do the same type of work. So the first thing I want to do is apply low melt solder so we can easily desolder this connector. We do not want to expose the board to a lot of heat to desolder the connector. This is an expensive console, and we want to do this as safely as possible. So the best way to do it is to apply low melt solder, like I always do. Every time I'm recording a video, the ambulance is passing by, every single time. Okay, so let's apply Flux. And this is Amtech 559 Flux. We are one of the major distributors for this Flux, and the largest sellers of this Flux. You can find it off our site, just as with low melt solder and all the other tools, most of the tools that we use here. So let's go ahead and apply low melt solder, fume extractor on. And we gotta do this one. We may have to apply more solder. I mean, this is one thick board. So solder is going to have to make its way through and mix with unleaded solder, so we can lower the melting temperature of unleaded solder, which is used by factories. It takes a lot of heat to desolder a connector with unleaded solder. So we use low melt so we can lower the melting temperature. And now we're gonna do the same to the front legs here. The mailman came in, and we have a lot of packages. Just a second. Okay, so we're gonna apply low melt solder. And by doing so, we should be able to remove this connector without any hassle and as safely as possible. So right now what we're gonna do is apply heat from the bottom. Okay, let's apply heat from the bottom. Now look at this, solder already liquefied. All right, and the connector is out. Now look at that wick. Amazing. And the holes are clean. Very nice. We're gonna flip the board and do the front. Beautiful. Now it's time to solder our new connector. And perfect. Just a second. So right now what I did is I secured a few pins in the front so we can flip the board and solder the back 4 legs. And then I'll come back to the front pins, add more solder, and we're gonna test to make sure that all the pins are solid. Right now I do not even need to test because I quickly applied solder to secure that connector in place. Let's flip the board and solder the back. The back looks amazing. Let's go back to the front and finish working on the front pins. Then we're gonna test to make sure all the pins are solid. And right now I switched to a knife tip so we can use the sharp part of that tip. And let's go over them just one more time before we test. I want to make sure those pins are soaked with solder and they are making a good connection from front to back. And that's why I move inside with my soldering iron tip when I'm soldering. The pins should be soldered from front to back and they should be making a very solid connection. Pin number 1, solid, 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 solid. I'm not gonna keep saying solid, but you get the point. Every single pin is making a very solid connection and the job is done. So we want to check and make sure that the pins are not bridged from the inside. And we're going to test one more time. solid connections from front to back. Nice. Very nice. And last but not least, we're gonna do our final cleaning using the brush and a dry wipe, a lint-free dry wipe, so we can remove any leftover flux. Not that flux will do any harm to the board, but we want to give the board back to the customer, or the console back to the customer, in a better than factory condition. So a few things we need to get done today. Few things, I'm talking like 30 items, 30 devices that we need to fix. We got those in today. 1, 2, 3, 4. They told me we got 7 video cards. 2 custom built PCs, not posting. Oh, here. The other 2 cards that we got in. 2 MacBook Pros, and both of them are fixed. And the computer has been running for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And the other one has been running for 1 hour and 70 minutes. Just making sure everything is good before we mail them back to the customer. And a lot more things that we need to get done. And all those stuff here are urgent. Customer mailed in 5 video cards. We're working on 2 of them and 3 are still here. Expedited, this is the Note, iPhone, video card, motherboard, another expedited video card, and video card, and video card. And we have a couple of them on my bench here. This one, this one, this one here, this one here, and this one right here. Done? All right, so Big Boss just finished the reassembly of the console and he did test it. It's working. Everything is good, but I'm gonna do it now also, so we can finish off this video. Plug power, and we're gonna plug the HDMI cable. And power. We can see the Xbox is on, but HDMI cable is plugged in. Am I doing something wrong here? Nothing is coming on the screen. He did test it and it worked. I think the screen is froze or something. It never happened before, but right now I'm not even able to press on the menu button or on the power button. Something is going on with the screen itself and not the console. Let me disconnect power, reconnect power. Right there. The monitor was frozen for some reason. It never happened before, but it would not react to the menu button on the screen, and it would not power on and off. Right now it's working. So Xbox is working and everything is good. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.